NIO just released a shockingly bullish report, and we'll go over this in a moment.
Guys, we got good news and we got some bad news. With deliveries, of course, the good news is we're the top dog once again. We've beaten Xpeng and Li Auto in terms of weekly insurance registrations. 7,050 for last week compared to, of course, well, it's lower than Xiaomi's 7,400, but higher than Xpeng's 6,900 and higher than Li Auto's 5,700, which was really, really nice. But then, let's break it down. 2,800 for NIO brand, 3,300 for Onvo brand, and 950 for the Firefly brand. And the bad news is, of course, we need double these numbers just to hit NIO's own delivery targets that they've set out themselves. Not exceed, just to meet them, all right? Because NIO said they got to deliver 150,000 in Q4, which is approximately 50,000 per month. And if you do the math, you need about 13,000 per week, at least, to sort of meet that target, basically. So, you know, we're a little bit off. I'm still very optimistic that they will pump up these numbers because we know Onvo L90 this month they're gonna reach max capacity of 15,000 per month production. So hopefully that's going to increase dramatically. Also, Firefly, quick update. Some people have asked about the limited edition night traveler edition of the Firefly car. It's limited to 666 units. Some of you guys were wondering why 666 units. In China, 666 basically means good, or great, basically. So it's an omen for doing good, basically. So that's what it represents. Last time they had a limited edition of 300 vehicles, 300 units for another limited edition, and that got sold out in just less than 24 hours. But this one, apparently it's still available, so I'm not too sure what's going on with that. Maybe some people don't like the color of this car or the way it looks, but let me know what you guys think of the color of the Night Traveler edition. I think it looks pretty nice, pretty sleek. The white rims look fantastic.
Now, the super bullish report is, of course, a business update for the NIO Power segment of the company. And this is, of course, for October 1st to October 8th, which was the holiday. And they had record business during this time period. There was a total of 1.924 million total battery swap and charging orders. So this includes charging orders from non-NIO brands. Total infrastructure, charging and swapping infrastructure is at 8,280, okay, which is incredible. And of that, 3,520 are swap stations. And then the number of total swap orders have reached 1,097,985 times through this 8-day period, basically. And this is, of course, the average swaps per day have increased 37% year over year. There are 4,760 charging stations, and there have been 826,527 charging orders during this time period. And this is also a 24% increase in business year over year. Now, charging is not free, all right? Unless you have like charging vouchers and stuff like that. But most of the time, charging is not free. Swapping is free for people that have vouchers or free swap privilege, okay? So other than that, then you got to pay for it, okay? And then the single day with the most number of swaps reached a record high of 145,955 swaps, battery swaps in one single day. This is a record high. And then on October, and this was on October 1st, and on October 7th, it reached a secondary high of 143,120 swaps. So this is on average 0.6 seconds per swap. So that basically every 1.2 seconds, two cars have battery swap, which is quite incredible to think about. For 7 consecutive days, daily battery swaps succeeded 130,000 swaps per day for 7 consecutive days, which is quite incredible. And then 207,149 NIO owners only swapped, meaning they did not charge at all. It was just pure swap. Okay, and the furthest that they've gone, pure swapping, 4,000 kilometers on a single trip, which is quite crazy. And that person swapped at 28 different cities, 49 total swap stations to travel that far, which is quite incredible as well. 80% of all NIO owners chose battery swap as their primary way of getting energy during this holiday season. And then this is quite incredible because they use battery swap. This has cumulatively saved everybody 310,932 hours compared to charging. So that's time saved, which is quite incredible. Some of the busiest swap stations saw orders at 180 orders per day. So 180 swaps per day, which is quite incredible. And then you see some of the highway routes. So these are multiple swap stations on this one highway route. Like, for example, the G15 had 59 swap stations, 3,071 swaps per day. And this is throughout the entire highway, which is quite incredible as well. Battery flexible upgrade, which you guys, if you didn't already know, for Gen 1 NIOs and Gen 2 NIOs and Gen 2.5 NIOs, you can go to a swap station and upgrade your battery temporarily for a week, for a day, for a week, for a month, however long you need to upgrade that battery for. And basically, you just swap onto the 100 kilowatt hour battery pack. And throughout this entire vacation period, there have been 21,404 battery upgrade orders. And then this is also quite incredible. 5,569 NIO owners have decided to upgrade their batteries temporarily during this entire vacation. In terms of charging, NIO currently has total 27,258 charging piles, and then over 85% of the total electricity charge that's being used is actually towards non-NIO owners, which is quite good, okay? Some of the most popular charging stations, the supercharging stations, saw orders at 142 orders per day, and this is for charging, all right, which is quite incredible. And then NIO has strategically placed chargers at some of these crazy routes that are like scenic. They're called NIO destination, basically. Like you go to a sightseeing place, you have these chargers and swap stations along the way to help you get there. So out of these routes, the number one route saw 905 total orders per day, which is quite crazy as well. NIO has a lot of chargers basically everywhere, like even up in the mountains and like remote areas, and that's great for business. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.